Welcome to the Stuhr Museum of the Prairie Pioneer. Please find a seat. The orientation video will begin momentarily. The mission of the museum is to preserve and portray the inspiring era of the pioneer town builders who created the first communities in Nebraska. Praised as one of the top 10 places to relive America's past by Good Housekeeping magazine, Stuhr Museum of the Prairie Pioneer offers a hands-on living history experience that tells the story of early town building in Nebraska. Stuhr Museum is a world-class, nationally recognized educational and cultural institution. Only 5% of all museums in the nation are accredited by the American Association of Museums, and Stuhr Museum of the Prairie Pioneer is one of those museums. For nearly 40 years, Stuhr Museum of the Prairie Pioneer has given visitors a glimpse of pioneer life. Described as a crossroads in time, Stuhr Museum preserves and portrays the inspiring story of the pioneer town builders who created the first communities in Nebraska. The pioneers who challenged the land did not think their story remarkable, but visitors and students are amazed at the spirit and accomplishments of common people who shared a vision for the future and built satisfying and productive lives on the prairie. Since 1961, Stuhr Museum has collected and preserved historical objects and information relating to life in Nebraska's prairie communities from the 1840s through the 1920s. These artifacts, the buildings, and objects are important tools to bring history to life and enable today's citizens to understand the economic, political, and cultural development of these plains communities. As such, they play a key role in Stuhr Museum's living history and educational programs. These programs focus on the diversity of Nebraska's heritage, not just the dates and patterns of settlement, but on the people, their lives, hopes, and ethnic backgrounds. These historical artifacts are a tangible part of this heritage and help make this story real to the museum's visitors. Begin your visit in the Stuhr Building. Open year-round, the stately Stuhr Building was designed by the late world-renowned architect Edward Durrell Stone. The Stuhr Building, as well as the museum, was named for Leo Stuhr, the museum's first benefactor. Mr. Stuhr was a prominent farmer, former state legislator, and the son of one of the original families to settle Grand Island. The Stuhr Building's many indoor exhibits of period rooms, tools, household articles, and furnishings introduce visitors to Nebraska's history by tracing pioneer lifestyles from 1880 to the 1920s. The museum's attractive main building also houses the Prairie Treasures gift shop and ever-changing exhibits on a year-round basis. Elegant marble floors, graceful twin spiral staircases, and 4 stylish fountains enable you to tour in a peaceful environment. Prairie Treasures carries a wide assortment of unique gifts, Nebraska items, goodies, keepsakes, jewelry, postcards, and a large selection of books on Great Plains history and people. Across from the Stuhr Building, find the Guus Memorial Rotunda, also open year-round. The unique wagon wheel floor plan with Native American bronze, the Arrow Maker, at the hub provides a unique venue. Home to the museum's Native American and Western artifacts, the Fauna Rotunda showcases exhibits reflecting the contrasting cultures of the Plains Indians and early Western settlers, while also exposing the myth of cowboy life. Outdoors to the west, discover the authentic railroad display where you can view a 1901 steam locomotive, a 1912 caboose, and an 1871 coach at walk-in level. Moving south, visit the reconstructed Pawnee Earth Lodge. The Pawnee are the only tribe indigenous to Nebraska. The lodge represents a part of one of the oldest communities in Nebraska around the 1840 period, after they have begun to interact with travelers from the east. On the museum's southern grounds, visit Reynoldsburg with a turn-of-the-century farm, its charming rural church, and authentic one-room schoolhouse, arousing nostalgia in every visitor. Representing a community missed by a railroad, Reynoldsburg illustrates a town that never fully developed. Step back in time as you enter Stuhr Museum's own 1890s village, Railroad Town. The summer season brings excitement at Stuhr Museum as history comes to life in the recreated town from May 1st to September 30th. Townspeople dressed in period clothing are found throughout this charming community as they go about daily life on the plains in the 1890s. Visitors will experience a part of community life in the late 19th century as though they have literally entered a time machine through hands-on activities, intergenerational learning, outdoor fun, and indoor exhibits. Be sure to stop by the Visitor Service Desk in the Stuhr building to see what activities are planned for the day. Railroad Town contains more than 60 original shops, homes, barns, and other structures. 4 historical homes grace Railroad Town, including the cottage in which Henry Fonda was born in 1905. Dressed for life in the 1890s, the residents of Railroad Town will help visitors experience the lifestyle of the early prairie town builders, how they lived, worked, and played. As you walk the wooden boardwalks of Railroad Town, you will hear the clang of the blacksmith's hammer as he goes about his work. Pull up a bench and spend an afternoon experiencing the history and skill of the blacksmith. Stuhr Museum's own line shaft-powered Merrick planing mill features equipment from the late 19th century that is still in operation today. Listen at the telephone exchange and have a conversation on an antique telephone. Help the women of the town go about their daily chores of baking, washing, or sewing, or play an old-fashioned game in their parlor. Stop by Amanda Glade's Millinery and help create a hat or dress. Write a letter to one of the townspeople at the post office or see what the tinsmith is up to. Pause for a refreshing drink or a snack at the Silver Dollar. The Railroad Town Mercantile is the place to stop and purchase reproduction items handmade in Railroad Town. A large assortment of unique items that you can only find at the Mercantile fills the store. Women's jewelry, hat pins, hard pretzels and candy, coffee, toy mechanical banks, pottery, and scented soaps are just a small portion of the items available from the Mercantile. To the north, a collection of log structures represents a road ranch, one of the countless early settlements on the plains. Scattered along the overland trails, road ranches served early travelers as they moved back and forth across the plains. East and north of the log cabins is the Antique Farm Machinery and Auto Exhibit, open May 1st through September 30th, featuring steam and gas-powered tractors along with many vintage automobiles. 200 pieces in all are housed in the exhibit. Please check with Visitor Services for daily tour times.
Fellow Nebraskans, this is Henry Fonda, inviting you to look back with me into history and see life as it was in the railroad towns of yesteryear.
Nostalgia grips us at every turn, at every doorway. Everything so completely authentic, so painstakingly collected. I hope you enjoy your visit to the Stuhr Museum, where Nebraska's pioneer heritage lives for tomorrow.
Thank you for viewing the Stuhr Museum Visitor Orientation video. Stuhr Museum, more than a museum, a living history experience. Please exit to the rear of the auditorium and enjoy your visit.